Hi, I'm Robin Trimingham, Chief Operating Officer of the Olderhood Group and co-creator of the Power My Future Life Transition Planning Program. I'm chatting today with Bill Story, CEO of the Olderhood Group. Bill, one of the big accounting firms has claimed that millennials are financially fragile. To what extent do you think that's true?
I think the word fragile is not the correct word. I don't think they're fragile. I think
What's a better word?
Well, I think secure or insecure, whichever way you want to go. I think the secure word is the better word. I think fragile means you're completely unsettled and the whole aspect of life could be turned upside down. I think there is a level of financial insecurity with millennials, for a variety of reasons.
How financially literate do you think millennials are?
Well, I think they need to be a lot more literate. Because I think things like some of the problems that they have are they still carry student debt. They're probably still living at home, not probably through choice. They're living at home because they can't afford to go out and buy. In some cases, they can't afford to go out and rent, accommodation. So I think those kind of problems are pretty heavy on them. The student debt is they owe the bank or they owe money back to mum and dad, something along those lines. So that's certainly a drawback for them.
Well, do you think that millennials are further ahead or behind where baby boomers would have been at the same point in their lives?
That is a very good question, and I don't think anybody has the answer to that question. I think that part of the response in that would be that back in the 60s and 70s, the baby boomers, as we call them now, they had a different mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Their mindset was that in their early 20s, perhaps they were starting to think about getting married. 1, 2, 3, 4 years later, whatever, they were thinking about a family. But they were very keen to be thinking about property. They were very keen to be thinking about how getting a house. Nothing wrong with that. But the economic climate has changed.
Mm-hmm.
So I think back then, I'm not going to say it was easier for the baby boomers to climb up that ladder, property or otherwise. I'm not going to say it that way. But I think the whole mindset was different. That the millennial, does have a few problems caused by economic conditions.
To what extent do you think the advent of technology helps or hinders millennials?
I think it does both. They are the most technologically savvy generation that the world has ever seen. That's the good news. They live online. When they leave the house in the morning, if they forget their smartphone, they would be just as easy forgetting putting on their shoes.
Mm-hmm.
It's that important to them. So I think that's the good news. I think the bad news is that there is a tendency to flip through things, websites or whatever, quickly. We get down to sound bites and stuff like that. I think that has to change. There's a lot of sound bites that are good, but I think they need to go and look at different things. You talked about financial literacy.
So you think that millennials sometimes think they can just look stuff up online rather than ask for help when it comes to financial matters?
Very much so. I think they're apprehensive. I wouldn't say scared really, but I think they're apprehensive about trying to get financial advice, and frankly, they need financial advice in today's world. Things like mutual funds and pensions and mortgages, interest rates. I think they need help in that. So financial literacy is a big thing. But to finish off where you started, basically, it's a myth that they are financially fragile. They're maybe slightly insecure, but that's about it.
So what they need to do is to learn how to use technology to power their financial future.
Without a doubt.
You've been listening to ideas and tips to power your way to a better financial future.